the joke I've been telling recently. Give me a break. My brain's malnourished. It's only funny if you know the context, and please feel free to laugh throughout this. It is hilarious. Which is that I just got out of rehab for my eating disorder. I know, right? I don't look like I have an eating disorder, but tell that to the body that I've been destroying for 15 years, and to my brain that's like, please, Erin, just dip me in butter, I need the fat. And tell that to all the people who said, oh, you're so tiny, but you eat all the time, what's your secret? My secret was bulimia, okay, so, good. That's the secret to this sweet, sweet, previously failing body that basically just stinks now all the time, because it turns out when you actually digest food, you're just gassy. I don't know how you normalized eaters do it, honestly. So bulimia, even in recovery, the gift that keeps on giving. I've learned a lot in recovery. How to crochet, that's a recent development. I learned the nutritional value of Boost. I've also learned that there is no limit to the things that you can Mod Podge, and that art therapy should be mandatory for every American workplace. I've also learned that there is no limit to the ability of mental health professionals. Any of you in here right now? Therapists, social workers, anything? Well, anyway, if you've ever met one, I'm sure some of you have, there is no limit to the ability of them to find an acronym for literally anything. I've come up with an acronym of my own, by the way, for those of us in recovery. Can I get a what? The acronym is BITCH, and that stands for Beautiful Individuals Thoughtfully Chewing on Hope. It's gonna catch on, I promise. We can all just call each other bitches and it'll be great. But I've also learned a lot about where my eating disorder came from and the function that it serves. I came to my eating disorder in the perfectly normal upper middle class way of growing up a short, bespectacled, bad haircut, precocious young white girl growing up in the tough suburbs of Omaha, Nebraska. The type of place that basically ensures that you will be perpetually at war with yourself. The type of place where you are told constantly that you should be trying to fit in, because if you don't, there is definitely something wrong with you. It's the type of place where your middle school teachers have meetings with your parents to discuss their concerns about how much you read, because that doesn't fit into their ideas of normal socialization for elementary or middle schoolers. It's an impediment as well to the notion, these same concerns were shared with my parents about my emotional sensitivity. So maybe an eating disorder would make me pretty, to compensate for the intelligence that seemed to be so inappropriate in the mean streets of Omaha, Nebraska. Maybe an eating disorder would be the perfect silent and secret way to express the deep pain that I was feeling, the deep pain that I could not understand as a middle schooler, a deep pain that I couldn't explain, that was so incomprehensible to me, and which, according to the adults around me, was wrong. As a result of these competing and impossible messages, my brain, I've learned, basically split into two. Not in a schizophrenic way, more in like an eating disorder way. And since I've always been an overachiever, of course both of these brains are usually operating at completely full tilt. And since I'm repeating myself because I'm extremely nervous. I'm pursuing my values of openness up here. My therapist says it's good for me. So, thank you. It's a hurt, but thank you for thinking that. We're being gender equal here, yes. More than my incredible powers of denial, it is these two brains feeding off each other, giving each other the gifts of each other, that allowed me to convince myself and everyone around me that I was totally fine. even while I was actively looking for ways to destroy myself. On the one hand, there is my excellent Dr. Erin Feichtinger brain that says things like, "You're working really hard. You should be really proud of yourself. People love you. You are killing it daily." Then there is my eating disorder brain, which takes the gift, that same gift that I have for confidence and self-assuredness that a lot of people like about me, wraps it in a mess of really dark fucking black wrapping paper and gives it back to me like this. "You're working really hard, but not hard enough. You should be really proud of yourself for convincing everyone you're fine. People love you, but they won't if they find out about me. You're killing it daily. Why not go for the whole kit and caboodle and just kill yourself too?" Needless to say, I've been doing a lot of crying. This two-brain problem, I don't think, is unique, actually, to those of us bitches. See, it's catching on already. I think it can be generally applied to most women in our society. It has been passed down through generations of women struggling to find themselves in a misogynistic society, especially in its most recent iteration, the society where our president-elect thinks it's okay to just grab pussies because they're there. I see this problem in my mother, especially, who is by all accounts a wonderful, intelligent, caring, and fun person, but whose solution to my not having friends in middle school was to buy me a tanning membership. Don't give her a bad rap. This is being filmed. And whose experience as a professional woman led her to caution me against second helpings at dinner because people will judge your worth first based on your appearance. I blame my mother a lot for my eating disorder, and I know, actually, now, on the other side of this, that this is unfair. I know this because my mother did not think that she was hurting me. She was living in a world where her success as a successful businesswoman was a constant battle in an environment dominated by masculine notions of femininity. She conditioned us against vulnerability because in order to be the person that she needed to be, she couldn't show any weakness herself. And so the time that I don't spend crying or trying to adhere to my meal plan or apologizing for my farts and burps, I spend being really fucking angry. And I'm angry for a lot of reasons. I am angry at women's health sections at bookstores that are full of diet books. I'm angry at the nonsense that might have broken my mother. It might have broken me. I'm angry at that nonsense that crushed her drive and questioned her intelligence, made her think that pantyhose were considered full battle gear in a business meeting, questioned her achievements with outdated notions of domesticity that told her that she was wrong because she was a female breadwinner who wasn't home to cook for her children, who convinced her that she needed to protect us from the things that hurt her souls to depths that I cannot even fathom, and as a result made the chasms between me and her wider and wider and wider, until we couldn't even hear ourselves shout at each other anymore, but instead were reduced to hand signals, miming inane conversations about the weather. I don't know how to fix her when she cries about my eating disorder. I don't know how to fix us and our relationship. But I'm trying to be more honest to a bar full of perfect strangers. My dad jokes that he's going to take all the doors off the bathrooms when I come home for Christmas, so literally all my shit is out in the open. I don't know what the point of all this is. Maybe the point is that we should stop thinking about eating disorders as just being about vanity. They're very real things and they're painful. Maybe the point is that we all have our shit, and that some of that shit is a burden so large and comes with a pain that is so incomprehensible that the only way to handle it is to like binge on all of the hate in our society that comes towards women and then just purge it somewhere. Maybe the point is to notice our pain and others' pain around us, to hear and validate each other's fears, and say, yeah, I'm really fucking scared too. Maybe it's saying sorry for the hurt that we cause each other, and be nicer to each other and be nicer to ourselves until those chasms between us grow smaller and smaller, as our urges to destroy ourselves disappear into the depths as the ground becomes whole above them. I know that I want these things. I want this so that I stop taking all of the gifts that my mother gave me of independence and of fun and of creativity and of intelligence and returning them back to her with anger and scorn. I think that I want to give her my love and my understanding, to say that I understand the shit that you had to deal with and I'm really sorry about it. I think that this would be a better gift. A new one. I don't have any money, but, you know, at least it's like sort of flawed, but freely given, right? Like I said, I don't know what the point of all this is, but, you know, give me a break. My brain's malnourished. I'm working on it. Thank you.